Hello, hello. Sam here, online health and fitness coach, certified personal trainer, and postpartum corrective exercise specialist. And today, let's talk about how often you should weigh yourself and how you can actually use the scale successfully and using it for how it was actually meant to be used. So, how often do you weigh yourself? Do you know how often you should be weighing yourself or what the ideal frequency is to hop on the scale? With the 7 tips, we are going to learn how to use the scale in a way that doesn't ruin your day or even make your day. The scale does not have to be something that you dread or fear. It can be used as simply a tool to track one data point, which is your weight. So many people online like to say how evil the scale is and how useless it is because it really doesn't paint a full picture. It doesn't tell you how much body fat, it doesn't show you if you're feeling better, it doesn't say if you're overall healthier, and all of those points are true, but I disagree with that making the scale useless. In my opinion, having as many different data points and as much information as you can get is helpful. And just because the scale isn't perfect doesn't mean it is useless or evil and that it should be completely just disregarded as a way to measure progress and as a way to measure your maintenance. One, the scale keeps your goal in the forefront of your mind. It's a little mini daily reminder of what you are trying to achieve, whether that be weight loss or maintaining your weight. And there have been studies, people that maintain long-term weight loss do weigh themselves regularly. And when you weigh yourself regularly, you can make adjustments in real time. You can start to notice if the scale is going up in a way that you don't want it to, or if it's going down in a way that you don't want it to. And that way you can make tweaks, changes here and there before it's an issue that becomes overwhelming. Now, just because weighing yourself frequently has these benefits, does that mean every single person is going to benefit from weighing themselves daily? And the answer to that is, of course, no. Everybody is different. If the scale is going to completely mess with you and it is going to completely ruin your day, then probably not the best idea for you to come right out of the gate weighing yourself daily, especially when that number is going to dictate your mood for that day. But you can learn to use the scale to your advantage and to remove emotion and your mood from the number that it shows you. So let's hop into the tips, 7 of them, on how to use the scale to your advantage. So you can use it as a tool to track data. And number 1 is fat loss isn't linear. This is a picture of my weight loss from August to November of 2020. Do you see all the ups and downs? But what we're really looking at is just the trend. So the overall is going downward, which is what I was wanting. And there are always going to be daily spikes and daily drops. And then sometimes there's going to just be where you're stuck at a same number forever. I know my average for 2 or 3 weeks in there didn't move a bit. Losing weight every day is not going to happen. It just isn't. That's how it works. If you are expecting that scale to go down every single day, you are going to be disappointed and you are setting yourself up to feel bad about that number that you're seeing. So just remember, it is natural to see spikes and dips. What you really want to pay attention to is that overall trend going in the direction that you want it to. All right, number 2 is slow and steady wins the race. You are going to be losing weight at a slower rate than you want to. And that is how you make sure your weight loss is going to be sustainable. You want to be behaving in a way and eating in a way that you can do long term. And by long term, I mean forever. So this isn't some short-lived thing that you just need to do and try and do it as quickly as possible just to get that weight off very fast and then just hurry up so you can get back to normal. No, we want to go nice and slow, nice and steady. So we are learning how to eat and behave like that lean, fit, and healthy person that we want to be so we can maintain that for the rest of our lives. Losing about 1 pound, 1 to 2 pounds, depending how much weight you have to lose, is where you want to be for that weight loss. That doesn't mean you won't lose a little bit more some week and you won't lose a little bit less. That just means on average, that's about the ideal, like the sweet spot to be losing weight consistently. Losing 30 pounds in a month, it sounds amazing, but I would assume most of us, our goal is to lose weight and keep it off forever, not lose a bunch of weight really fast, go back to exactly what we were doing before and gain it all back just to repeat that cycle. So if your goal, which I'm assuming it probably is to maintain weight loss forever and never have to lose weight again, slow and steady is the way to go. Number 3, consistency is key. So what I mean by consistency is weighing yourself at the same time each day. Ideally, you want to do this right after you wake up and use the bathroom, but before you eat or drink anything. This way, your body is empty of all extra stuff that could be in it, basically. And using the same scale, making sure you are in the same PJs or just make sure you're naked. That way, that scale is reading exactly what you weigh. It's not measuring your clothes. It's not measuring what you just drank 5 seconds ago, because if I went out and chugged a huge glass of milk right now, I could make myself weigh 1 extra pound in like 0.5 seconds. Yes, I can chug milk very fast because it's delicious. But if you are weighing yourself at night, you are going to weigh more. You have a full day's worth of drinking and eating in your stomach, in your intestine. So you're weighing all that food as well. So in the morning, right after you wake up and use the bathroom, but before you eat or drink anything, is going to be the best way to make sure you are being consistent and getting the most accurate number that you can get. And also using the same scale. Different scales at different places can make a big difference. So just make sure you're using the same one as often as possible. So pick one and stick with it so you can see those changes accurately. Number 4, the scale has its limits. Yes, even though I am all for weighing yourself, that doesn't mean the scale's the best thing ever. The scale does have its limitations. The scale weighs everything, not just your body fat. It weighs your muscle, it weighs the food in your stomach, it weighs your bones, it weighs the water that your muscles are holding. It weighs literally everything that you put on top of it when you stand there. So if you've gained a bit of muscle, the scale will go up. If you've lost a bit of muscle, the scale is going to go down. And losing a bit of muscle probably isn't your biggest goal, and gaining muscle probably is. But looking at those numbers on the scale, if you only take that into account, you could be incorrectly excited or disappointed. And that water weight I'm talking about. Now this can be huge. Water weight fluctuation can be pretty insane. I know my weight can fluctuate up to 5 pounds in one day. That is not 5 pounds of fat. That is just water. Your muscles hold water, and there's a lot of different reasons that your body can be holding on to more water or that water weight fluctuates. Hard workout, eating more sodium than normal, eating more carbs than your body's used to, not getting as much sleep, having different levels of hydration, hormones, if it's that time of the month. Lots of different things can impact that have nothing to do with fat gain or fat loss or even muscle gain or muscle loss. So just keep in mind those fluctuations are normal. They're going to happen no matter what. And you will start to see patterns. If you're weighing yourself daily, you will know like, oh, when I eat a giant bowl of spaghetti, my weight spikes up the next morning. Or maybe that's just me. Now, it going up isn't going to be the only big changes. It can go down. So say you ate way fewer carbs than you normally do. Your weight could artificially go down because you're not holding as much water in your muscles as you were before, because carbs make us hold on to water in our body, and that's not a bad thing. That's totally fine. And so don't be afraid of carbs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's very normal, and our muscles like to have carbs in them. They use it for energy, and like, yeah, we can work out now. So it's a good thing. But if you just have a lower day for some reason, that scale could just drop down because of that one reason, which isn't necessarily body fat, and it could come right back up if you have a normal day of eating. So as you can tell, the scale can go up and down for lots of different reasons. And the information the scale provides is helpful over a long period of time, not necessarily on a day-to-day basis, just because it could be a little bit volatile. That brings me to my next point. Number 5, the scale is just one tool that you can use. There are tons of different ways that you can measure progress. The scale is just one of those. We have progress pictures, how your clothes are fitting, how you're feeling, how your energy is, how your lifts are going. Did I already say pictures? Well, pictures if I didn't. Pictures are excellent because usually if we're losing weight, especially for aesthetic reasons or for physique goals, really how we look matters a lot more than the actual number on the scale, and pictures are going to give you an accurate representation of how you're looking. And then how you're feeling. If you are losing weight for health reasons, how you're feeling is going to have a huge impact and be way more important than that actual literal number on the scale. So if you feel like you have more energy, your lifts are going well, all that information is just as important. It's really more important than the number on the scale. So just remember, scale is one tool, and using more than one is going to be the ideal way to measure your progress. All right, number 6 is be patient. This goes back to what we talked about before. Slow and steady wins the race. Just because the scale hasn't moved in a few days or even a week doesn't mean you've hit a plateau. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. If you know you are sticking to the plan and you're doing what you need to be doing to reach your goal, be patient. If you haven't seen any changes for 2-3 weeks, maybe it's time to reevaluate, take a look, see if you're actually being consistent to your plan, or maybe your plan just needs some tweaks. But if it's just been a few days, your body's just acting like a body. Don't get too antsy, don't make any big changes. Be patient and see what's going on, and give your body some time to actually make those changes. They're not going to be instantaneous, no matter how much we want them to be. Do not just give up because it's not working. It is working. You just got to be consistent and keep pushing forward and working toward that goal. All right, number 7 is don't let the scale rule your life. The scale can be a useful tool. It can be super helpful in tracking progress. It can be super useful for collecting data, but the number on that scale isn't the most important thing. If you feel great and you love how you look and you're just living a healthy life overall, that number on the scale really doesn't matter at all. Are those last 3, last 5, maybe even those last 10 pounds really going to matter that much? The scale isn't good. The scale isn't evil. It's just a tool that you can use to collect data about yourself. And if that scale is really ruining and ruling your life, maybe it's time for you to ditch it, at least for now. And then just focus more on your consistency, getting in those healthy habits, and working towards your goal, and not focusing on those strict numbers too much until you feel like you can look at them a little bit more objectively. And I understand that this takes practice. You can't just flip a switch to not care anymore about that number. It takes practice, it takes time, but starting to just really learn about what the scale is, what its limits are, and what it's best used for is really going to help you. And sometimes getting those daily weigh-ins is going to help teach you and help you get used to those spikes and dips, and not continuously connect your emotions and your feelings and your mood with that number. So just remember what the scale is. It's just a tool, like a wrench or a hammer. It's just one way to track progress, or I guess a better analogy probably would be a tape measure or something like that. But that's all it is. It's just an instrument to collect data about ourselves, and it just happens to be collecting what we weigh. The key is to just learn the limits of the scale and what it truly is there for. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments which tip you found the most helpful, and if you are not going to let the scale run your life moving forward. Also, if you have anything you would like me to do a video on, please drop that in the comments below. Do not forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and if you found this useful, please share the video, let your friends know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, peeps.